Welcome to another episode on the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajit. That's Big Boy Bravs with us. We got Thanos back on the podcast. It's back to the original three. And some of our players, we're back in the Final Four. We're finally at the Final Four. Two of the top two in the West and the top two in the East. And for the most part, we're going to do a little recap on our predictions from the previous round. And then we're going to make the predictions on this. But one thing I did want to tell you guys from the start is me and Bravs and Nugent, we both picked the Bucks to come out of that series. Obviously, we didn't know injuries were going to play a huge factor in the series.
Yeah, you guys picked the Bucks. I picked the Nets.
Yeah, no. But I'm just saying, obviously, if they were healthy, they were...
Yeah, it would have been a different situation. But
KD was literally half an inch away from closing out the Bucks by himself, basically.
There was that OT or that 2-4, yo.
Yeah. But even before the OT, remember that turnaround shot he had on PJ Tucker? He was literally, if his foot was an inch smaller, that would have been a three, and then it would have been a wrap. But the Bucks advance, and they're taking on the Atlanta Hawks, who surprised a lot of people by taking out the Philadelphia 76ers.
That's huge for them, yo. Trae Young.
Winning 3 games on the road.
That's crazy.
Ice Trae.
Yo, especially in Philly. Yo, Philly is a hostile environment, yo. Philly is hectic. So winning there is huge. It's like New York, and the coach of Orlando was like, yo, you guys did up. You guys won in hostile environments.
Yeah,
Trae's really going into the regular season, I didn't really think Trae was a really good player like this.
Oh,
especially in the playoffs. Yeah, I underestimated him, but at the same time, he's playing the villain role pretty well, in New York and in Philly. Just you see a lot of similarity with Steph Curry. There was a shot in one of the playoff games I've seen that reminded me so much of Steph.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, they had Lloyd Pierce as the coach up until March, and then Nate McMillan came in, took over for that team, and he's been a stud, taking them to their first conference final since 2015. Trae Young, they're being generous with the size. I don't think he's 6 feet, but
word. I feel like 5'10".
Yeah, he looks like he's 5'10".
Yeah, they said he's 6'1". I don't know, maybe he might be, but he looks really small. Maybe it's because he's actually skinny.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point in the season, they were 14-20 until Nate McMillan came in and turned that whole season around for them.
Yeah,
that was when we were 17-17.
Yeah,
fourth place.
And yeah, we were supposed to make the playoffs, and they jumped over us. And them and Philadelphia had the most wins for the rest of the season from that point on. Mm-hmm. And right now, Trae Young is dropping 30 and 10 basically in the playoffs. And in this series, you thought we made a huge mistake. We thought Ben Simmons or Matisse Thybulle were going to have a huge impact on stopping Trae Young. Or not stopping him, but slowing him down.
Yeah, terrible.
But he's so fast, bro, and his pick and roll game is so nasty. You can't tell if he's lobbing it or putting up a floater.
Yeah, but I also thought I'm kind of disappointed the way Simmons played in this series. He was not aggressive whatsoever. He was literally
soft, yo.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead. No, I'm just saying, if you're guarding Trae Young, and Trae Young, was Trae Young guarding him or was it someone else? It's probably someone else, right?
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, you have the size advantage. You could take down other people. You're strong enough to be able to go in the paint. You don't even shoot threes. You can go in the paint and make shots from there. And then you're also a really good playmaker as well. You have so many things that you can do, but he's not really living up to it, you know?
Trae Young could have been on Ben Simmons. He wasn't aggressive, so he could have just been standing there taking some rest on that end. But Ben Simmons. So let me ask you guys this question: did Atlanta win the series, or did Ben Simmons cost the Sixers the series?
I think Ben Simmons cost the series for them.
Yo, I think Atlanta won the series. Just because I do see Anuda's viewpoint of Ben Simmons costing, because Ben Simmons, but to be honest, his most shitty game was Game 7, right? He did have other few games. I just can't remember which games.
But he's had five. I feel like every game the fourth quarter, he would either make one shot or he'd make nothing.
Yeah, or he'll pass it up, right?
Yeah, he passed it up. Like even in Game 7, he passed up an open dunk. Like it's ridiculous. Like you should be able to. You have to stay aggressive. Like you're literally known as the second best option, like supposedly behind Tobias Harris. But like if you're known as an all-star, you should be able to do things that all-stars usually do. Like he's playing worse than Siakam. At least Siakam can like. At least Siakam's aggressive, you know.
100%.
But for Simmons, like Tobias Harris is definitely a better player than him in the series, and because he's not even attempting to shoot, like he's not like Giannis, where Giannis will actually take the shot. He's not taking it, and he's scared to go to the free throw line. These guys traumatized him by going to the hack of Simmons, right?
Yeah,
and it took away from him scoring anything in the fourth quarter. Like if you look at his fourth quarter stats through the series, there's only probably 2 games he went 2 for 2 and then 1 for 1. He was 100% in the fourth, but all the other games he didn't take a single attempt because he was that scared to get fouled and make free throws at the free throw line.
Yeah.
And this is a bad week for Ben Simmons and Doc Rivers. They're both getting shitted on in Philly as we speak. But Doc Rivers, because it's a bad night for him because Ty Lue took over. They lose Kawhi Leonard in the end of that Jazz series, and Terrence Mann and Paul George step up in Game 6 and 7. They abuse Rudy Gobert because he doesn't want to come out and contest the 3-point shots.
Mm-hmm.
They abuse that. They're up 25 in that Game 6, and they come back, or they're down 25 to the Jazz, and then they come back with Terrence Mann abusing Rudy Gobert from the 3-point line. And Tyronn Lue literally made the in-game adjustments to win out that series without their main scorer, main player, their best player on the floor. And Doc Rivers just looks like a shitty coach. I mean, all we can account him for is that 2008 championship. But aside from that, what has he really done? Other than blow 3-1 leads and choke a lot of playoff games, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like he's been on like 5 or 6 of the games, 5 or 6 of the worst like losses from like the opposing team coming back from a serious deficit. And I'm like sitting there going, what the fuck? But I'm just saying, like Doc Rivers, I don't know if they're gonna fire him. Like right now, it looks like Brett Brown. Like there's no difference between him and Brett Brown.
Yeah, for sure.
Joel Embiid can only do so much for that team, right? For the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, the man was averaging 30 and 10 at home.
They should have made the trade with Harden and Simmons when they had the chance. Now Simmons is he's not even gonna be worth a lot. Like they're gonna lose so much value off of him. They're probably not even gonna trade him, honestly. Like it doesn't make any sense.
We should just get him with the Raptors.
No, I'm good, bro.
Listen, it's just some stupid ass trade. Some idiot put
for Lakers, right?
No. Well, that too. I want to get to that in a second, but they put sign and trade Lowry for Ben Simmons and then add OG to the package. I'm like, what?
What?
I'm like, why would the Raptors ever do that? I'm like, smoking crack, bro. And there's another stupid ass trade for the Lakers. It was like Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and the number 22 pick for Kyle Lowry.
What?
And I'm like, at least that's better than the Ben Simmons package. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like these guys, all these teams that could have traded for Kyle Lowry at the deadline didn't value him as much as they should have because of what he could have done for them, especially with the injuries and everything and just the way he plays on the floor, right?
For sure.
But everyone regrets that now, and now everyone's like trying to go for him or thinking they can get a better star. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, I have to always add in the Raptors into the conversation because the draft lottery is happening soon, and we about to go crazy. But I do want to get back to this Eastern Conference pick. I mean, before we make our predictions, Milwaukee really stepped up. Giannis proved he's a big-time player, dropping 40 and 13 in that Game 7. PJ Tucker seemed to be one of the best acquisitions at the trade deadline because of how he played how his defense was on Kevin Durant. Like, obviously, he's a smaller player, but the way he was playing and the way they were allowing him to play was like old school basketball. Right?
PJ Tucker's nasty, yo. That guy held it down.
If only he was on the Raptors with the Kawhi team instead of the team before that.
Yeah.
But hopefully he deserves a ring, man. Him and CP deserve a ring. I wish they were on the same team, which they were in Houston, but couldn't get it done against Golden State. But I mean, Atlanta, they came out I think the Eastern Conference semifinal rounds were way more exciting than the West. Both going down to the last final game.
Yo, Lou Will on the Hawks, yo, jeez.
Yeah, in the final seconds, I mean, Philadelphia choking an 18-point lead, a 26-point lead, and then a Game 7 at home. And they had the momentum, but Thibault had some dumbass plays. Ben Simmons was too scared to shoot the ball.
Yeah, but Trae Young had a terrible night that night. Like he didn't play. He didn't. Yeah, and his whole team stepped up, which was good.
John Collins stepped up. Even the white guy.
Kevin Huerter.
Nasty.
I've seen so many posts on the internet saying that Kevin Huerter and Trae Young are like another version of Clay and stuff.
They call Kevin Huerter the Red Velvet. The man dropped 27 points in the Game 7 in a crucial time where Trae Young wasn't feeling it. Trae Young was 5 of 23 from the field. He's still at 21 points, 10 assists. But overall, man, it just came down to the turnovers and the offense for Philadelphia not clicking. I remember this specific moment where Doc Rivers made the stupidest decision to put in Thibault and Ben Simmons, and both of them can't score, and both of them clearly can't make free throws when it matters. And then there's also a moment where he put Ben Simmons and Dwight Howard at the same time. Where's the offense coming from? You're basically letting Atlanta play 5-on-3 every time, or 5-on-4.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. All in all, we got Steph 2.0 coming out, showing out he's a superstar in the making.
I'm actually impressed with Seth Curry too. Like he stepped up in the series as well. Like he shot the lights out. He pretty much saved Ben Simmons a little bit. Like if they won the series, it would have been a different story. But Simmons would have still got the whole like the shit that's happening now. Like everyone talking shit and all that. At the same time, they would also talk about Seth, how he saved this whole series and stuff. You know,
someone started throwing shit on the floor at the Wells Fargo Center.
Back, yo.
Yeah, I'm not even surprised, bro. If your team is literally the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference and you lost to a 5th seed, like you would be disappointed in yourself, would you not?
Yeah, this was like the Raptors 3 years ago when they lost to Cleveland 4-0.
And almost lost to Indiana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Cleveland almost lost to Indiana, right?
And we almost lost them. I think we went to Game 7, I think, or Game 6.
You're talking about that. That was the year we went to the conference finals for the first time. I'm talking about the year before, the last year DeMar was with us, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like we had the number 1 seed in the East, and we got swept by Cleveland in the second round.
And Cleveland didn't really have anyone. They only had
LeBron.
Well, Kyrie was injured, right?
Kyrie wasn't on the team. He was on Boston that year.
Kevin Love, right?
Yeah, they had Kevin Love.
Oh yeah, that's when they traded the whole entire like team, like Dwayne Wade and stuff, right? For like
and that's when they brought George Hill, Rodney Hood, all those guys.
Yeah.
With Philadelphia, Seth Curry, like you said, he was playing like Steph Curry at certain moments in that game, in different games in that series. The only problem was Danny Green going down was a huge impact on, like it affected them a lot because the Thunder was gone. And Kevin Huerter in Game 7 was abusing Seth Curry every time he had the chance. And Korkmaz too. They were both getting that work. But like, I don't know. I feel like if Danny Green was still available, Seth Curry and Danny Green, they could have worked without Ben Simmons. But I mean, it should tell you a lot that after like him being drafted 5 years ago, Ben Simmons, that everyone is still sitting here talking about the same bullshit about him not being able to shoot and how he can't stay in the game because he can't make clutch free throws.
Yeah, you're in the league for a reason. Like, yes, you can play make, but you got to be able to score, man. Like, you can't have no offensive skill set to be able to be in the league. It's ridiculous.
Do you guys remember that game against the Raptors this past season? The man couldn't miss from the free throw line. Do you guys remember that?
No, I don't.
He went like 12 for 12 from the free throw line. He couldn't miss.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. During this series, like with the Hawks, like you see the way Ben Simmons was doing free throws, like his arm crooked this way, like straight. I was like this. Like what the hell? How the hell do you do that? It makes no sense.
He had no confidence in himself. Like he just was so out of it.
I've been saying this for years. I think he should do what Tristan Thompson Tristan Thompson did and switch shooting hands.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Try the right hand. Try the right hand. I mean,
for sure.
at this point, like it feels like he can't recover from the left side, and I don't think he's going to be in Philadelphia anymore. I think that chapter is done.
Yeah, I think they're going to ship him out.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Hopefully,
Trying to break up the process, yo.
time to break them up because they've been trying to do this for 7 years. They haven't, bro. They drafted Joel Embiid in 2014. He obviously didn't play for 2 years, basically. And Ben Simmons got drafted 2016, but he was out for that season. And that's basically, let's say 5 years or 4 or 5 years, they weren't able to get to a conference finals once.
And the Hawks literally, they've only been tanking for 2 years and they're already in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah. Obviously, these finals, I mean, this playoff bracket shouldn't be like this based off of all the injuries and stuff, obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
Not saying the Hawks couldn't have made it, but we never know because injuries through the season also helped them, you know?
Yeah.
But to be honest, that's the factor of the playoffs, right? Anything can happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And this kind of goes back to the whole Raptors championship year, right? Like if Durant was playing and Clay was playing, like what would have been the outcome for the Raptors, right?
I mean, we were still winning for the most part.
No, 100%. No, 100%. No, I'm just saying like.
But he's right. He's right though. Like if Durant and Clay were playing, it would have been a different story. Maybe, who knows?
Oh, both of them were playing. I'm saying if they're just Clay, I think we could still beat them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So with the playoff predictions for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals, who are we saying is gonna win the series and go to the finals, and who are we saying? Basically, who are we saying is gonna make it to the finals and how many games?
I'm gonna say Bucks in 6. No, actually, I'm gonna say Bucks in 5. I'm gonna say Bucks in 5, and here's why. Because Ben Simmons, I thought he was the guy that would be able to hold down Trae Young. I feel like Drew Holiday is gonna be able to hold down Trae Young, and he's gonna be a non-factor. I think Trae Young. This is the matchup that Trae Young's gonna have an issue with, because Drew Holiday is so underrated. He can guard him perfectly. Like I know for a fact that's what's gonna be the downfall for the Hawks. And without Trae Young, this team is not going to be able to. They'll win a game or two, like maybe one game at best. But I don't think they're going to be able to handle the Bucks without Trae Young performing the way he did in the last 2 series.
One thing. No, I was going to say one thing that we completely forgot, that they beat the Sixers without DeAndre Hunter throughout the whole series, and they also didn't have Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
And Gallinari stepped up for them, and he was the one at the end of that game in Game 7 to poke the ball out of Joel Embiid's hands and get that open dunk. Kevin Huerter gave him a nice pass, and it was a wrap.
Yeah.
For sure. No, but what I was going to say, or what I was going to for me, I got the Bucks too, even though I should, put my money on Trae Young because that guy's holding it down. But I kind of go back to the point that Anuja emphasized, right, that Drew Holiday is going to be matched up with Trae Young, and I think Drew Holiday can shut him down. We've been saying this since the beginning of this podcast, that Drew Holiday is super underrated. And not only us, but a lot of podcasts that we watch, like, for example, All the Smoke and even JJ Redick's one, that they all talk about Drew Holiday as an underrated stud, and I agree. So I think his matchup with Trae Young will be, I guess, a game factor.
So wait, what your Anuja's prediction was? Bucks in 5.
Bucks in 5. I got Bucks in 6.
I think there's no one that could stop Giannis in this series, and I think they can match up him with Capella because they're basically the same size, and they're gonna rape him. 100%. I mean, he's gonna rape them. Sorry.
I think Capella's gonna.
And I think I'm gonna go with the same prediction. I think I'm gonna say Bucks. I'm gonna say Bucks in 5. Gentlemen sweep.
Let's do it.
All right, let's move on to the Western Conference and give our predictions for that series. If hopefully Kawhi doesn't have a torn ACL and he can come back, and same with Chris Paul with the health and safety protocols, hopefully he can come back. The man had 2 vaccinations and he still got COVID. That's how you know he's had bad luck in the playoffs for real.
Right.
The man can't catch a break. He comes back from a shoulder injury and it's like, nah, here, take some COVID on the side still. He's like,
he should be back, right? Because it's been 10 days.
Yeah, he should be back for game 2. I should not game 2. I think he should be back for game 3 or 4.
Okay.
But I mean, Devin Booker looks like the way he's playing right now. He's playing like Kobe, and he looks like he can handle the thing. And he does play point guard a lot as well. Before Chris Paul got there, he used to play point guard a lot.
He's shooting guard, right?
Yeah, he's shooting guard, but I'm saying he can play the point.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton has been a stud. Jay Crowder's been a dime piece, and even what's it called? Cameron Payne, bro. Cameron Payne is so underrated right now.
Yo, that guy is playing like amazing basketball.
Yeah, he revitalized his career, and he's learned a lot from Chris Paul. And I mean, I don't know what it is. If it was like
Burgers, yo.
He was soul searching when he was out of the league, and he didn't want to be in that position again. But the man retooled his game, and he's on another level right now, and he looks like a solid backup point guard.
I know.
Clippers, Paul George stepped off. He went from way off P back to playoff P, and he's dropping. He dropped 30 points in that last couple of games or last few games of that series. And Terrence Mann, the unspoken hero, came out of nowhere, dropped 39 in that last game to close it out, coming back from a 25-point deficit and eliminating the Utah Jazz. What do you think about this series? Who do you think? Who do you got, and how many games?
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Yeah, good.
I got Suns in 6.
So, are you saying whoever basically beat the Lakers is basically going all the way?
No, to be honest, the reason why I'm putting my money on the Suns, I think Kawhi will be out for a while with the ACL. I don't think he'll be back anytime soon. And I also think the emergence of the Suns. So, for example, DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker, they can outplay or outwork the Clippers. The Clippers' big man who is Zubac. That's his big man. DeAndre Ayton can eat him. PG, I think PG Devin Booker can match up nice. PG might have the upper hand in terms of size, but I think Devin Booker may slightly have an uphanding in skills or size. But that's my opinion.
There's a lot of people in the series, I think, that rejuvenated their career. Reggie Jackson, Cameron Payne. You got PG coming back from that horrible bubble play. You got Jay Crowder, who's made to conference finals with Miami last season and this year. I do think in the series, my pick is going to be the Suns. I believe they're going to close this out in 6.
Mm-hmm.
If Kawhi doesn't come back. If Kawhi comes back, I give the edge to Clippers in 7.
For sure. But I doubt it's ACL, right? ACL is out for a minute, no?
Well, they said it was ACL, but they're not sure yet. No one's saying anything because I think this is like a strategic play, so they have the Suns on their toes.
Yeah.
Basically not giving it away that he's out, and they're just going to go game by game to kind of like have them tripping out. But I think the Suns can beat the PG-led Clippers without Chris Paul. I think they can still beat them and get to the finals.
I think I'm gonna stick with I think I'm gonna go with Suns all the way. I'm gonna go Suns in 7.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like the Clippers. Yeah, if Kawhi does come back, it's gonna be a factor. But I don't feel like the Clippers have enough depth to actually match up with the Suns. I feel like without the whole throughout the whole playoffs, the Suns have shown one thing, that they have depth. Because like you could see, like if you see the box scores for like most of the games, you can see every single starter had like more than 10 points. Like they're always, all the players are contributing. If you look at the Clippers side, maybe a few games they do have a few players doing it up, but I don't see it. I just see either Paul George or Kawhi stepping up. Maybe a few nights Reggie Jackson, but other than that, I don't see anything.
I think like the Phoenix Suns are the most connected unit. They seem like they're the most, like they seem like the best team out of the 4 that are remaining. I think them and the Bucks are going to be the ones to meet up in the finals. And it's crazy to say, but they've been the 2 healthiest teams throughout the whole year. So it makes sense that they actually made it to the finals. And either Devin Booker and Chris Paul are going to win their first ring, or Giannis and Chris Middleton. It's kind of good for the NBA that it's not someone that's
I'm happy it's gone this way now.
I'm happy it's someone different. You know what I mean? Someone's playing like Warriors, LeBron every year.
Yeah, and it's like the Raptors thing. Like the Raptors year where it was refreshing to see new teams.
Yeah.
And this is like young stars coming out and showing that they can perform at the highest level. Trae Young, Devin Booker getting his first taste of the conference finals.
Yeah, this shows literally what Devin can do, bro. Like, in his first playoff series, he hasn't shown any signs of fatigue or slowing down. Like no nervousness, nothing. Like he's just straight up balling.
Yeah, you got Devin Booker, the Kobe 2.0. You got Trae Young, Steph Curry 2.0. You got who else? It was Michael Porter Jr. Jason Tatum. You could say is like the next Kevin Durant, basically.
Yeah,
and you got Luka Doncic, who's basically the next LeBron.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And another thing I think that's gonna hurt the Clippers is because they're going small.
Yeah, the big man is gonna eat them alive, though.
Yeah, and the loss to Serge Ibaka really is going to hurt them in the series.
Yeah.
If Ibaka was playing, your Clippers Ibaka would have shut down Ayton, yo. I think
but even his offensive team is also would have been helpful because in the playoffs he always comes clutch with those big threes, you know.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's pretty mobile for the most part to stay with Ayton. Ayton looks pretty quick. Like I didn't know he was that quick for a big man.
Yeah,
he looks like he could play power forward. But all right, so just to recap. For the Bucks and Atlanta Hawks series, Anujan says 5, I say 5, and Praveen, you said 6, right? And for the Suns and Clippers, all of us are saying Suns in 6?
I'm saying 7.
You said 7. Okay, so you said 7 for Suns, and me and Brav said 6. All right, any final thoughts about these two series before we come back for that finals matchup?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just have a fun series on both sides. Hopefully this is a longer series and doesn't end quickly.
Kobe 2.0. Let's see him rise.
Yeah, let's see that. It's a good. I mean, I'm happy to see Devin Booker show
be legendary. All right, be legendary.
Yeah, show homage to Kobe. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this podcast and this video. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't liked the video, make sure you like it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to it. What are y'all waiting for? Stop slacking, bro. And we'll be back once both of these series are over, and we're back with the finals. But till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and please stay safe. Peace.
Yeah. The price I want for sure you gon' need.